some, informal chat with an American promoter about trying to get them a television deal in the UK, and I did some background work on that.
Before we go, so in part one, John spoke about in his business that he had, his PR business marketing company. He was in talks with the XWF, who were popular for 6 months or a year.
I think they lasted.
So he was trying to get them a TV deal as wrestling bit of business beyond live events. And then in 2005, 2006 happened again with TNA, wasn't it?
Yeah, I happened to be in America, and I met up with a guy, Shane Douglas, who worked for TNA, and I was having a chat with him, and they were obviously looking to get a UK platform.
Just before you go on, John, so prior to 2005, TNA were on the Wrestling Channel, but the Wrestling Channel then went out of business in 2005 or was sold on. So then they had nothing else left.
They didn't have a UK vehicle or a UK platform to put their show on, so they were looking for something new. I just happened to be in America, met a few of the officials there, had a chat with the guy Shane Douglas, and we sort of think, like anything, I don't never say I can do anything for them, but I said obviously if we want, we can have a look at it, and I had some informal chats with them, and it just didn't really go anywhere.
So when you met up with them, was this while you were in Florida or in Nashville?
I was in Florida, actually. I think I was in Florida on holidays, and they happened to be there because that's where they used to film. I think, was it in Universal Studios they used to? I think it was Universal Studios. They had they used to do a weekly show there. But the next day they were going back to Nashville for something, so they said, okay, we haven't had a chance to talk to you. Come down to Nashville. So I went down and had a chat with Shane Douglas, and we did have some exchange of emails and things like that, trying to put together a package that would be on offer, and then it just really fell flat. It didn't really go anywhere.
And was that a case of do you think he didn't feel there was a deal there, or do you feel it was higher up?
Well, it's it's hard to know, because it just fiddled out, nothing came of it, I don't know whether maybe they thought they were going to get a deal and they'd already maybe had some discussions with something else, but it just never materialized, and then eventually they did get a UK channel.
That was Bravo, 2008 maybe.
That was Bravo. 2008, I think they got then, they went on to Bravo.
Interesting part for you, John. So for you with TNA, with that deal, you weren't looking to run TNA live events, you were just looking to make a percentage of sales.
Yeah, it was just probably to see if there was the possibility if they got a TV deal, and then obviously there would be some arrangement, for me being involved in that, but it never materialised, it never happened.
TNA, sidebar again, so tryouts with the WWE. I know it was at a TV tape, and any of the Irish guys, Irish Whip guy or guys or lads in general, they would get paid for being over the TV tape and to get fed.
Yeah.
So forth. You used to just do them at the house shows. And I always remember the Irish Whip guys, when we got tryouts with the TNA, the first year they wanted to charge the guys to do the tryout. And then they wanted them to do the ring van, as in help the ring up and down. And I just thought that was disgraceful. And I remember the second year when the lads went back, I'm trying to think who the middleman was the second time we went back. But I remember saying that the lads aren't paying. And, if they're going to do the ring crew, they had a cage match on the second time. Oh yeah, they'll get paid and they'll get fed. They got fed leftovers, I think it was, and they never got paid. So when they came around the third time, they wanted the Irish Whip guys to answer. No.
Yeah, no. It's probably like anything. Sometimes when you have, especially a new company, and it's set up and it's obviously trying to grow, and you probably at times you heard money was tight, and they weren't spending money on certain things, but they were spending money on other things
owned by billionaires and
and you just sort of think to yourself, well, are they really committed to this, or is it like you think about some of those football clubs that are owned by billionaires, and you think that's just a hobby? I sense that there was a real enthusiasm from the people who are on the ground in the company, and they obviously were interested in a UK deal.
But they charged for live events was, as in, so if you were to buy the show off them, I inquired, I won't say the chap's name, he wasn't a wrestler, but he worked in the office. They had sold shows on, I've heard what they were charging some guys up in the States and Canada. And I inquired about it here. But the same thing, like I said, with other groups in the past, they want a lump sum, a percentage of tickets, or percentage of each ticket sale after a certain amount, and you pay for flight to come. And TNA, I knew they wouldn't draw the numbers. And when they came here the first time, I think they sold out the first time. That was a couple of years later. Then after that, I don't know. I don't think they ever made money at live events in Ireland. Yeah, no,
they didn't tour that often, to be quite honest, over here. And again, you know, if you're going to do something like that, you're going to have a higher profile, and you're going to have that television network. I also remember at the time when they were coming over, it was quite interesting that at times one of their rivals, not mention any names, the rivals would have actually toured more frequently. They used to do this at times. They would have toured more frequently, and it was basically to try and wipe out the competition, you know, and obviously it worked because they didn't come back.
Yeah, I know they ran the National Stadium and they would use MCD as a regional promoter.
Yeah.
Whereas WWE used Aiken, who was the more...
That's right, yeah.
Now, obviously the two of them are top class regional promotions groups, but the best out of the two was Aiken, and that's who WWE went with. And I'll never forget, they sold out the stadium, which is like 2,000 seats. Then they decided the next year, what's the next year or the last year, they were going to do the second year, the main arena that WWE does, and they got like 1,500 people in a 9,500 seat arena.
Yeah.